Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobby Capucci, and this is Daily Drop number 35. All right, so Alan Dershowitz has countersued Virginia Roberts, and he's denied he ever met her, or had sex with her, or anything like that. This is an article from the Daily Mail, and it's kind of off pace of the whistleblower stuff we've been covering, but nothing new has really come out about that. Nothing that I could source out. There's some chatter and stuff, but nothing that has really come out that we need to discuss further there. So we're going to kind of switch gears here for a minute and follow something we've been following pretty religiously here on the podcast. For those of you who are just joining us, we've been following this whole Dershowitz and Virginia Roberts situation very closely because come discovery time in this case, there's going to be a lot of information that comes out, right? So we're very interested to see where this goes. So let's see what Mr. Dershowitz has to say here in this article, or what they have to say about Mr. Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is suing the woman who accused him and Jeffrey Epstein of sexual assault, claiming she made up the entire story for money. Wow. It's a pretty big claim. Lawyers for the former Harvard law professor filed a countersuit in New York on Thursday, claiming that Dershowitz and Roberts never met or had sex. Dershowitz's counterclaim, which is a response to Virginia Roberts' legal action against him for defamation, claims her lawyers were behind her accusation. The legal documents claim that her lawyers pressured her to falsely accuse Dershowitz for money. I don't really think that that's going to fly in court. There's going to be a lot that comes out, and I think that Alan Dershowitz, for as great of a legal mind as he is, might have made a very big mistake here. Virginia Roberts claims she was a teenage sex slave of Epstein, who was passed around to various men in his circle for sex, including to Dershowitz. The filing alleges that these statements by Virginia Roberts and those made through her agent, attorney David Boies, have defamed Dershowitz, causing him to suffer damages. Dershowitz claims the accusations are part of a conspiracy to subvert the judicial process in order to make a public example out of him and extort private settlements from other wealthier individuals associated with Epstein. Wow. So it kind of looks to me like Alan Dershowitz is going down with the ship here, right? He knows what Epstein was. He knows exactly what Epstein was. He was one of his lawyers. He saw the documentation. He saw the paperwork. He saw the accusations. He saw what the government had. So why would he even attempt to even add a comment like extort private settlements from other wealthier individuals associated with Epstein? Nobody's extorting anything, in my opinion, here. It looks like this is what these girls are owed, yeah? I mean, wow. The document goes on to call Virginia Roberts a liar. She has told numerous provable lies about her age, who she has met, whether she had emails concerning Dershowitz, it reads. The suit referenced another accusation made by Virginia Roberts about a billionaire founder and CEO of L Brands and owner of Victoria's Secret, Leslie Wexner. Another stand-up guy from all we've read, right? From all the dots we've connected about Mr. Wexner and his wife, they seem like they're just tremendous folk, huh? Just some other rich people who happen to, score big at one point. They decided to, be completely generous with all of their money and their time, and they've never done anything that could even have a whiff of any kind of controversy, right? I mean, that's basically what they want us to believe. The document claims that Virginia Roberts privately accused Wexner. This means that Wexner either submitted to Virginia Roberts and her lawyer's extortion conspiracy and paid the demanded hush money, or that David Boies came to disbelieve Virginia Roberts' claims. If the latter, the Boies firm suborned perjury when Virginia Roberts testified under oath in a sealed deposition that she was sexually trafficked to Wexner. Dershowitz is suing Virginia Roberts for defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and seeking unspecified monetary damages. Yeah, okay, Mr. Dershowitz, take it out of Epstein's estate. I'm sure you probably have access to it still. I'm really starting to not like this Dershowitz character. I tried to be pretty fair with this guy, but he's I think he's getting more than he bargained for here. I mean, he wanted Boies off the case. Okay, cool. Now you got to deal with Chuck Cooper. Chuck Cooper is not the kind of guy that you want to mess around with. This is the kind of guy that'll take it to trial and hammer you. I mean, hammer you. He said, I await the opportunity to cross-examine my false accuser and the lawyers who pressured her to falsely accuse me. I will prove by overwhelming evidence from her own words and those of her lawyers that I never met her and that she made up the entire story for money, just as she made up false stories about Tipper and Al Gore and many other people. Dershowitz claims that Virginia Roberts has a pattern of falsely accusing high-profile figures, including former President Bill Clinton and former Vice President Al Gore and his wife, Tipper Gore. As far as I know, she never accused Bill Clinton of anything. She said that she saw him on the island, but she never accused him of anything that I know of, that I can recall. I might have missed it, but I don't recall that she ever accused Clinton. Dershowitz claims that Virginia Roberts has a pattern of falsely accusing high-profile figures, including former President Bill Clinton and former Vice Presidents Al Gore and his wife Tipper Gore. He adds, I will prove that before she was pressured by her lawyers to name me, she told the FBI and her friends the names of the men with whom she claimed to have had sex, and she did not include me. To the contrary, she wrote that she had never even met me. Dershowitz's legal team says their client will aggressively defend against the allegations made against him and press forward with his own claims against Ms. Roberts for the campaign of defamatory and conduct she has waged against him. Virginia Roberts sued Dershowitz earlier this year for defamation after he publicly denied ever meeting her and called her a serial perjurer and a serial liar and a serial prostitute in interviews with major media outlets. Wow. This girl was obviously abused by Epstein, right? So if we believe she was abused by Epstein, what would make us think that she'd be lying about Dershowitz, right? This guy seems like he's going crazy. Like these allegations are making him nuts, and he's willing to do whatever to try and squash them. But I honestly don't think that he's going to be able to do that. Right now, he's going to trial. He's going to have to deal with a great trial attorney, and he's also being sued by David Boies right now for defamation. That's another article we'll get to eventually. Dershowitz had sought to dismiss the case on several grounds, including the statute of limitations had passed. Virginia Roberts' allegations drew new attention after Epstein was charged in New York this summer for allegedly sexually abusing dozens of girls. Epstein killed himself, allegedly, in August in his cell at a federal lockup adjacent to Manhattan Federal Court. In September, U.S. District Judge Loretta A. Preska rejected Dershowitz's efforts to toss out the lawsuit, but she did rule that Virginia Roberts' law firm, Boies Schiller Flexner, LLP, could not work on her case. Preska wrote that the disqualification of the law firm representing Roberts was clearly required because members of the firm could be called as witnesses at a trial. Dershowitz has said he has secretly recorded tape of Boies that cast doubt on the veracity of Roberts' claims. Boies said the call was recorded without his consent and that Dershowitz has mischaracterized their conversation. The advocate-witness rule prohibits an attorney from representing a party where the attorney will be called as a witness, Preska said. At the time, Dershowitz called the ruling a significant victory. It clears us to put David Boies at the center of this conspiracy, he said. We're going to prove that my accuser had repeatedly told people that she did not have sex with me until she met her lawyers. Her lawyers pressured her into saying she had sex with me, and they're key witnesses. I will continue to call Roberts a liar and a perjurer, he said. In a September statement, Sigrid McCauley of Boies Schiller Flexner said the firm will promptly appeal Preska's ruling. She called the judge's decision to disqualify her firm deeply disappointing. The defamation case against Alan Dershowitz is going forward, and he will have to face justice, McCauley said. Roberts said in a statement that she was grateful that Preska denied Dershowitz's shameful attempts to dismiss my defamation case against him. I will no longer be silenced. I will no longer be shamed, she said. I will see Alan Dershowitz in a court of law, but I am dismayed by the court's decision in this case to deprive me of my counsel. All right, so that's following the thread that we've been following in this other crazy spider web of a case we're dealing with here. So there's so many interconnecting pieces of this, and it weaves in so many different directions and goes off in so many different areas that it's important that we continuously cover it by the day the way we're doing. Because if not, there's going to be so much that we miss. And now what we have here is a catalog. We can always go back and look at some of the breadcrumbs and see where things have led us. So I'm happy you guys all joined me for this 35th edition of the Daily Drop. I hope everybody is enjoying their Friday night. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will be back tomorrow night, the same place, for the same sort of information. Take it easy, everyone.